Right Honorable Speaker of the Senate, Amason Jeffa Kingi, to come and make his remarks and address us. Karibu sana Bwana Speaker. And he will also have the opportunity to introduce the members of Parliament, both Senate and the National Assembly present.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, in the interest of time, allow me to adopt the protocols already established by the speakers who spoke before me. Your Excellency, before I make my brief remarks, allow me to introduce the team from the Senate, and I hope my eyesight won't fail me. We'll start with the Deputy Speaker and Senator for Meru County, the Honorable Senator Kathuri Murungi, the host Senator, Senator Kajwang Moses Otieno, the Senator for Nandi, Senator Samson Cherankei Kiprotich, Senator Dr. Boni Khalwale, Senator for Kakamega, Senator Faki Munyehaji, Senator for Mombasa, Senator Eddie Okech for Migori, Senator Catherine Muma Muyeka, Senator Maureen Tabitha Mutinda, Senator Hamida Ali Kibwana, Senator Julius Murgo, Senator Montate Batuli Betty, Senator Kisang, Senator Esther Anyeni Okenyuri, Senator Beth Siengo Kalunda, Senator Jackson Mandago, Senator Danson Buya Mungatana of Tana River, Senator Abbas Sheikh Mohammed, Senator Mbugua. Those are the senators who are with us here today. Further, Your Excellency, before I make my short remarks, I have been given a request that I should place before you. In keeping with your generosity, Your Excellency, that has been witnessed by Kenyans for the past couple of weeks, where you extended some appreciation to the national team, Harambee Stars, for every match that they win. The Senate team, having beaten the governors, they are wishing to be considered in that appreciation token. The team comprises of 16 members. If that is agreeable, Your Excellency, I may pass by the State Lodge to collect 16 million for the team. And I know it's possible. Thank you, Your Excellency. $16 million for the team. And I know it's possible. Thank you, Your Excellency. Transformative governance shift since its emergence, that is devolution. We gather here to mark 14 years since the birth of devolved governance, a constitutional promise to bring government closer to the people and to ensure equitable development and to reverse decades of marginalization. As partners in the devolution space, our gathering here today and as this entire week is not a matter of routine, but a national obligation. For devolution is about every lives of our people. The theme of the conference, that is for the people, for prosperity, devolution and as a catalyst for equity, inclusion and social justice, is not just a slogan. It is a call to action and resonates with the realities of our time. It reminds us that devolution is not about systems or structures. It is about people. It is about the mother in Turkana who now accesses maternal health care at a local health facility, It is about the youth of Homa Bay County accessing vocational training. It is about the farmer in Embu receiving extension services without having to travel to Nairobi. The sub-theme, re-engineering county governments to accelerate development and bridge the socio-economic divide, demands responsive and people-centered. It is a call to disrupt mediocrity, embrace technology, promote innovation, and be accountable stewards of the public trust. Your Excellency, we promulgated the Constitution of Kenya in 2010 and operationalized it in 2013. We reimagined a Kenya where no county, no village, no Kenyan will be left behind. We moved away from a centralized, top-down approach that had for decades marginalized communities and deepened inequalities. In its place, we embrace a model of governance that is participatory, inclusive, and closer to the people. And while the journey has not been perfect, it has been profoundly transformational. Healthcare services, once centralized and overstretched, are now within reach of millions. County governments have constructed over 1,000 health centers, recruited thousands of health workers, and enhanced immunization coverage and maternal health. Infrastructure development has flourished. Counties have built thousands of kilometers of rural roads, enabling farmers to access markets and people to move with ease. Early childhood education, water provision, agricultural extension services, and local economic development all have experienced rejuvenation because of county-level planning and execution. Above all, citizen participation in governance has deepened. Today, a resident of Wajir, Lamu, Nyandarua, or Vihiga has a say in how resources are allocated in their ward, an unthinkable reality 2 decades ago. At the heart of these gains, Your Excellency, stands the Senate, the constitutional protector of counties and their governments, as proclaimed in Article 96 of our Constitution. In line with its mandate, the Senate has recorded the following milestones. It has allocated close to Kenya shilling 4 trillion cumulatively to counties through the Division of Revenue County Allocation Revenue Acts. Oversighted the use of these funds through the standing committees of the Senate. It has championed legislation that have empowered counties, enabling them to cooperate efficiently. The County Public Finance Laws Amendment Act, a key legislation that guarantees financial autonomy to our county assemblies and further anchors their role of oversight, legislation, and representation at the county level, has finally become a reality after Your Excellency did assent to it this morning. We thank you for that. It is no doubt, Your Excellency, that without the Senate, devolution would be a shell. With the Senate, devolution has become a shield for the aspiration of many Kenyans. Indeed, at this juncture, allow me to applaud our senators for working tirelessly in building consensus to navigate very complicated tasks as they execute their mandates. A good example is the collective effort and team spirit that characterized the debate and passing of the fourth revenue sharing formula for counties for the year 2025, 2026 to 2029, 2030. This was a profound departure from the past, and such an exercise was riddled with acrimony and laced with political differences. Your Excellency, yet even as we celebrate these achievements, we must confront the hard truths mirrored in the following realities. These are the threats to devolution. 1, corruption and weak accountability systems in some counties continue to threaten and erode public trust in devolution. Failure, regrettably so, failure by some governors to heed invitation by the Senate to come to the Senate to account for the resources placed in their hands not only erodes the good working relationship within the devolution family, but also is detrimental to the noble goals of devolution. Regrettably, Your Excellency, we have seen cases where Senate committees have had to encounter hostilities when they visit counties in exercise of their oversight mandate. Very regrettable. Duplication of rules and power struggles between national and county governments undermine efficiency and cooperative governance. Inadequate on-source revenue mobilization by counties has left them over-dependent on the exchequer, limiting innovation and self-reliance. Wrangles within the county assemblies, which sabotages work delivery. Your Excellency, a case in point is the county of Nyamira, where at some point we had 2 county assemblies, 2 clerks and 2 speakers. Disbursements of funds to counties and politicization of county development priorities, which often sidelines community needs. Your Excellency, to secure the next decade of devolution, we must act decisively and collectively to deal with these threats. Distinguished participants, devolution was never meant to be a destination. It is a continuous journey, one that requires vigilance, courage, and commitment. Let us not allow short-term political interest to dilute the long-term vision of equitable development. Let us recommit to the devolution dream by ensuring it lives and blossoms in every ward, in every village, and every heart. For the greatness of a nation lies not in the glitter of its capital city and its urban centers, but in the dignity of its villages. May God bless our counties, and may God richly bless our land. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Tumpigie makofi Bwana Speaker. I now want to invite our chair, FCPA Mohamed Abdullahi, to come and make his remarks, and in turn invite His Excellency the President. Karibu Bwana Chairman. Tumpigie makofi Bwana Chairman.
Thank you very much, our Whip. Your Excellency, I will ride on the protocols already observed before me, but I just want to, before my speech, ask the deputy governors, because I think other groups have been asked to, have been appreciated, to also stand so that we know the deputy governors who are here. We can appreciate you in totality, deputy governors. Thank you very much. Please let's appreciate our deputy governors who are here. Your Excellency, when my sister was here, Gladys Wanga, host governor, I think because of the small element of stage fright that we all have and the fact that we're putting her under pressure to save on time, she forgot to introduce her deputy governor. I think he also didn't stand up when the other leaders stood up. So on her behalf, I apologize and recognize and appreciate the deputy governor of Homa Bay County, Oyugi Magwaga. Your Excellency, I also want to appreciate the presence of our CS Opio Wandai. CS, you can just stand up. Now, with that, Your Excellency, because not all governors will have an opportunity to come and stand up here, I'll be the last one speaking before I invite you. I want to ask all the governors to stand up. Excellency governors, host governor, Gladys Wanga was here. She stood and spoke. My vice chair was also here, Dr. Mutahi Kahiga. Our whip was our MC here, Steve Sang. Then we have my immediate former boss. She's chair emeritus, Governor of Kirinyaga and Waiguru. We have the Governor of Tharaka Nithi, Governor Muthomi Njuki, Governor His Excellency Ochilo Ayako of Migori, Governor Nadhif Adam Jama of Garissa, Governor Kiarie Badlisha of Nyandarua, Governor Mohamed Khalif Mandera, Speaker Emeritus, Governor of Bungoma Kenneth Lusaka, my professional colleague, FCPF Fernandez Barasa, Governor of Kakamega, Governor Paul Otoma of Busia County, Governor Patrick Olentutu of Narok, Governor Mahmoud Mohamed Ali, Marsabit County, Governor Orengo James, Siaya County, Governor Professor Hilary Barchok of Bomet, Governor and Benjamin Cheboy of Baringo County, our sister Governor Cecily Mbarire of Embu, Governor Amos Nyaribo of Nyamira, and Governor and Kachapin of West Pokot. Am I missing out anyone? Oh yes, Governor Wilba Otichilo, Vihiga, Governor Julius Malombe, Kitui, Governor James Irungu of Laikipia, and Governor Kangata, who was here with some innovation a while back. I thank you all. Your Excellency, I had to do that. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Amos Kingi, Speaker of the Senate, all the governors here present, and I will ride on the protocols thus far established, all delegates attending Devolution Conference 2025. On behalf of the Council of Governors, I take this opportunity to welcome His Excellency the President, the Honorable Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and all our distinguished guests and delegates to the 9th Devolution Conference and the 2nd Biennial Devolution Conference. As they say here in Homa Bay County, Warwako Uduto. You're all welcome. This year, our discussions will focus on 3 key themes of equity, inclusion, and social justice. Your Excellency, in the recent past, our country has witnessed citizen protests triggered by, among others, the finance bill, youth and government issues, and governance concerns. The continent and the world watched as our young people, popularly known as the Gen Zs, marched in major streets across the country, demanding for their voices to be heard. It's sad, of course, also that they were politically infiltrated. Indeed, the theme of the conference, for the people, for prosperity, for the people, for prosperity, devolution as a catalyst for equity, inclusion, and social justice, is meant to spur deep conversations on how the devolved governments can position themselves as the implementers and champions of these 3 democratic tenets of inclusion, equity, and social justice. This year, as we host the conference, it's a conference with a difference, the addition of side events that will be hosted by a myriad of partners, including government agencies, civil society organizations, the private sector, and development partners, will bring as many voices as possible to the conversation. I invite all the delegates to carefully peruse the program and purpose to attend the side events, which will run each single day of the conference. I'd like to sincerely thank the team that led to the preparations of this year's conference, all the members of the esteemed steering committee, which traditionally, Your Excellency, is chaired by the Vice Chair of the Council. This year it was chaired by Dr. Mutahi Kahiga, my Vice. I'd also like to acknowledge the Planning Committee led by the CEO of Council. They go through sleepless nights to deliver a conference to 12,000 delegates. Asanteni sana. I'd also like to recognize the presence of our international delegates this year. We have guests joining us from different parts of the world. You saw also they were represented on top here by the Jospong group of Ghana, who are displaying waste management. In 2010, Your Excellency and distinguished delegates, Kenya has promulgated a new constitution for themselves, containing what is globally regarded as one of the most radical shifts in governance the world has ever seen. Some have called the format of the Kenyan devolution experimental. The new system created distinct and yet independent governance through the national government and 47 county governments, which are constitutionally mandated to deliver on key services through locally elected leadership and representatives. We're all in agreement, all of us here, that devolution, notwithstanding its challenges, real and perceived, remains an exemplary case of meaningful reform and the best gift that Kenyans accorded themselves in 2010. The main purpose of devolution was creating units that would secure equitable distribution of development in the country, that every Kenyan is then guaranteed a dignified and a quality life with access to public goods such as healthcare, water, housing, food, education, and transport at the local level. Creation of administrative units beyond the county governments in wards, villages, and planning committees is further meant to ensure that the communities are heard and that the citizens' needs are met no matter where they are in Kenya. Article 174 of our Constitution captures this very succinctly by laying out the objects and the purpose of devolution. And there are 9 of them, and they include, among others, to promote democratic and accountable exercise of power, to foster national unity and recognize diversity. I'll not read all of them, but you can refer to Article 174. And in fact, in that article, Your Excellency, it's only one, really, and the object that explicitly refers to economic development under F, which says social and economic development and the provision of proximate, easily accessible services throughout Kenya. So through devolution, we were dealing with development, but we were also dealing with equity and social justice that is uniform across Kenya. From the above, ladies and gentlemen, the architecture of the Constitution anticipated that devolution would not only be concerned with economic development, but it will also foster national unity, democratic and political inclusion, and facilitate the decentralization of power, responsibilities, and resources, all aimed at bringing decision and services closer to the people. The establishment of the devolved government was thus our ambitious way as a country of reversing centralization as a basis of both political and economic development. It is both an economic imperative. Devolution is an economic imperative, but I believe it was also a political settlement. Devolution is indeed the truest and the most progressive definition of bottom-up social, economic, and political transformation. 12 years ago, Your Excellency, under the first election, under the new constitutional dispensation of 2010, we set up the first cycle of county governments. We ushered in 47 new county governments. And these governments, unlike the former local authorities, were created through the statutes. They had constitutional protection. They were established in line with the Constitution, and they enjoy both institutional and financial safeguards directly from the supreme law of the land. The fourth schedule further splits the functions between the national and the counties. Your Excellency, we've come a long way. At the Council of Governors, we appreciate that in 2014, on the 16th of December, you unbundled through a Gazette notice a lot more functions and component of functions. And this has been something that has been outstanding for long, and we don't take it for granted. But we still seek the further unbundling and costing of the few remaining functions, that they be completed to finality in full compliance with the letter and the spirit of the Constitution, and that the attendant resources of all functions already transferred will all follow. As I make this speech, Your Excellency, I'm a second-term governor, having served in the first cohort of the first phase of county governments between 2013 and 17. In my view, devolution, again I say, has come a long way. The journey has not been easy. We've had policy, legal, and administrative challenges that have threatened the very foundation of devolution. But I am convicted, I'm convinced here that counties and in general devolution has gone from strength to strength. Counties have recorded countless success stories that reveal that devolution is uplifting the lives and livelihood of Kenyans. According to the 2024 Gross County Product Report, which was released by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, KNBS, county governments are making significant and transformative contribution to the national economic performance. Essential investments, be it in financial, material, and technical, is being made towards the devolved sectors, and this is contributing substantially to the national growth and development. I'll just give a few, very few examples. Data from the period that devolution existed shows, say, in the provision of healthcare, which is one of the most important services that any county government must deliver, between 2014 and 2025, Kenya has recorded notable improvements in key maternal and reproductive health indicators. The proportion of women with at least 4 antenatal care visits has risen from 58% to 66%, and skilled birth deliveries has increased from 61% to 82%, reflecting the expanded access to skilled birth attendants as a result of devolution. At the onset of devolution in 2013, Your Excellency, there were 8,466 health centers and dispensaries across the country, and these, I'm only referring to public health centers and dispensaries. Robust and intentional health investment by county governments in collaboration with the national government and private sector has resulted in increasing these to 14,710 operational health facilities across Kenya. Public facilities account now for over 45% of all health facilities in the country, with the rest being faith-based and private. The majority of these public facilities are level 2 and 3, while level 4, 5, and 6 account for about 7% of all public facilities. When you look at the headcount of healthcare workers, Your Excellency, we only had 874 medical doctors in district hospitals before devolution. We also had 6,620 nurses. Today, this has expanded to 4,651 medical doctors in public facilities in counties. We also have 34,000, up from 6,000, 34,220 nurses in county facilities, 7,877 clinical officers, 4,686 lab technicians, 1,942 nutritionists, among other healthcare workers. This clearly represents a more than fourfold growth in human resources. At the community level, partnering with the national government, we now have 831 community health workers. And Your Excellency, you can give examples in agriculture, where we now have 6.5 million farmers registered, as opposed to 541,000 in 2016. We can give examples in ECD, where we now have from nearly zero staff in payroll of ECD teachers in counties to over 30,000 ECD teachers across the 47 counties, and 48,700 ECD centers. There are many, but in the interest of time, I will just highlight the key. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the story of devolution is dotted with many successes, and we can speak to it in every single county. Every single county has a story to tell, but I'll end it there. That notwithstanding, Your Excellency, there are numerous challenges. Challenges abound. The debate on functional integrity of the two levels of government, the quantum of resources allocated to devolution, delays of disbursements and releases of funds, and administrative action that leads to clawback, policy, laws, especially subsidiary instruments that predate the 2024 Constitution that are not then compliant with devolution, still remain a challenge. And Your Excellency, I will note that in spite of the month-on-month delays of disbursements of funds, for the 3 years that you've been in charge, 2 out of those 3, at least the last shilling, was released to the CRF, the County Revenue Funds account, by midnight, the 30th of June of that fiscal year. And we don't take that for granted. It was not always the case, Your Excellency. So in line with the conference theme, county governments must also ensure that resources are distributed equitably, even within the counties, that services are available and accessible to the most vulnerable populations that are marginalized, minority groups, and that there is meaningful participation in decision making. It's time for action, not for talk. As leaders who are gathered here, we've been called upon to serve. Let's heed this call with integrity, humility, and selflessness. Our Constitution expects us all here that we will conduct our affairs in the fullness of good governance practices, in respect of human rights and in social justice, while ensuring that there is equity and inclusion at all levels. On the overall, Your Excellency, and I'm winding up, devolution has been and it will continue to remain a journey. It's not an event, it's a process. I can say as stakeholders we have done well, we can all do better, and that's why we're here with all the stakeholders and partners. We are ready to listen to what interventions we can apply to make devolved governance even better and stronger. As I conclude, let me take this opportunity to appreciate all our stakeholders who have supported this conference. I convey our heartfelt appreciation of the national government through the presidency, the Senate, and all the 47 county governments for their support and participation. A special thanks to our platinum sponsors and partners, the Kenya Commercial Bank, Safaricom PLC, and the Jospong Group of companies. Those were our 3 platinum, 5 to Homa Bay County. This could not have been done without our partners. We appreciate and value all of you. Your support has made this event a reality and a big success. We cannot thank you enough. Continue to work with us as we keep the devolution fire blazing. I wish you all fruitful discussions in the coming days of the conference. It is now my duty and pleasure to invite His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable Dr. William Samoei Ruto, to come and address us and officially open Devolution Conference 2025 for us.
Thank you very much, Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take our seats. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am delighted to be back in Homa Bay. The opportunities awaiting bold action as we steadily unlock the full benefits of devolution. Our counties are critical frontiers and the powerful drivers of both national and local growth. This Devolution Conference is therefore a moment to take stock, celebrate gains, and reimagine how we can accelerate progress for every county and every Kenyan. The theme of this year's conference speaks directly to our national vision, a Kenya where every citizen, regardless of region, gender, background, or status, has a fair and equal opportunity to thrive. Our Constitution's preamble commits us to human rights, equality, freedom, democracy, social justice, and the rule of law. This theme is a reminder of the bold, transformative journey we began and a call to remain true to our shared aspiration as a nation and as a people. Ladies and gentlemen, devolution has been transformative. It has fostered equity by distributing resources fairly and addressing historical imbalances. It has enhanced inclusion by empowering communities, empowering women, giving a chance to our youth, and extending a fair environment to persons living with disability, for all of us to participate fully and meaningfully in the development of our nation. Social justice has taken root through accountable, transparent, and responsive governance. The national government is proud to have invested heavily in making these principles a reality. And for myself, I have had the privilege to chair the first intergovernmental budget committee, commonly known as IBEC, from the beginning. And I have had the privilege to see devolution grow by leaps and bounds. Through collaborative frameworks, such as the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, the Council of Governors, the Summit, and the other intergovernmental fora, we have resolved challenges amicably and aligned our policies and resources as guided by our constitutional vision. From the very first day of my administration, I affirmed that devolution is not merely a constitutional provision. It is the ground jewel of our democratic governance and the proudest achievement of the people of Kenya in our constitution-making process. I pledged to accelerate the full transfer of all outstanding devolved functions as assigned in the 4th schedule of our Constitution, together with the requisite resources. This commitment was formalized during the 11th National and County Government Coordinating Summit held at State House, Nairobi, on the 16th of December 2024, as has been alluded by the earlier speakers. I directed the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee to finalize the delineation, unbundling, and gazettement of all pending functions, and to initiate the systematic transfer of budgetary allocations and other resources tied to those functions without delay. Today, I am proud to report that all 14 devolved functions have been conclusively delineated, unbundled, and formally gazetted. This milestone has eliminated decades-old ambiguities that hampered service delivery and fueled intergovernmental disputes. This achievement marks a decisive turning point in our journey to align functions with funding. It empowers county governments to design and implement programs that respond directly to local needs, from healthcare to agriculture to water management, infrastructure, trade, and early childhood education, while delivering measurable impact to all the people we serve. Further, to the gazettement of the unbundled and clarified functions by IGRTC on the 16th of December 2024, and the advanced process of resource identification, I am pleased again to announce that we have gazetted immovable assets, that is land and buildings, to transfer ownership to the counties through Gazette Notice number 11164 of yesterday, 12th August 2025, a process that has eluded us for the last 12 years. In other words, 50,000 pieces of land and 80,000 pieces of land and buildings will now become the property of county governments legally. This morning, in a further demonstration of our commitment to devolution, I signed into law 2 landmark pieces of legislation: the County Public Finance Law Amendment Bill of 2023 and the County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2025. These laws cement the place and the principle of horizontal revenue sharing among counties and consolidate the place of county assemblies, while clearly defining the respective responsibilities of both county and national governments. Let me say this, that I had the honor in Homa Bay to finally guarantee by law the independence of our county assemblies. This is a commitment that I made. This is an engagement that I did with the county speakers and county assemblies, and it was a merited request and a merited ask that the same way we have independence of the legislature at the national level, we must also have independence of the legislature at the county level. I now ask the county assemblies to effectively undertake their responsibilities, effectively provide oversight, efficiently legislate for counties to perform their mandate, and also robustly represent the people who elected them. With this new mandate, with this new independence, the counties' assemblies now have no reason nor excuse not to do what they have been mandated by the Constitution effectively. Under the Division of Revenue Act 2025, we have allocated an unprecedented Kenya shillings 415 billion to counties, nearly 30 billion more than last year's allocation. The County Allocation of Revenue Act 2025 distributes this equitable share among the 47 counties in strict adherence to the revenue sharing formula set out in Article 217 of our Constitution. And again, today marks a turning point. We are using a new revenue sharing formula, again marking another historic step. This is the first allocation, as I have said, to apply the fourth determination of the basis for division of revenue approved by Parliament this year. This is not just more money. It is a stronger foundation for counties to deliver, develop, and transform people's lives. Ladies and gentlemen, despite operating within a tight fiscal space, the government has honored its commitment to timely disbursements, clearing all balances owed to counties for the just ended financial year. This ensures that counties have the fiscal capacity, institutional infrastructure, and human resources necessary to deliver on their expanded mandates effectively. Again, to report that yesterday, agricultural programs changing lives at the grassroots. Investments, ladies and gentlemen, are the lifeblood of economic transformation. They inject capital, spur innovation, generate employment, and unlock local potential. Nowhere is this more true than our counties. Under our bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we are working with counties to build one bankable, high-impact value chain in every county, from fish processing here in Homa Bay to leather in Kajiado and textiles in Kitui. This is about turning local potential into jobs, incomes, and exports. The Government of Kenya, through the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry, is developing investment procedures for key priority sectors, working with counties. This will serve as strategic tools to highlight opportunities, showcase value propositions, and support investor engagement locally in our counties and internationally as well. We have already completed the initial 4 sector packages: leather, business processing, outsourcing, e-mobility, and textile and apparels. By supporting end-to-end value chain ecosystems, we will increase local incomes, enhance food security, create jobs for our young people, and position counties as net exporters. Yet progress, again, ladies and gentlemen, is uneven, and the full promise of equity remains work in progress. This conference must be a turning point, not only for celebration, but for honest reflection and decisive action. To unlock the full potential of devolution, we must strengthen capacity in our counties by building the skills, expertise, and employing technology needed for effective service delivery. Excellencies, while we may not have all the resources we desire, we have enough to deliver meaningful service to our people. Ask ourselves, are we directing resources to the right purposes? Are we deploying them efficiently? How much is lost to waste and corruption? And what concrete measures are we putting in place to seal leakages, curb misuse, and enhance efficiency? These are the hard questions we must confront with candor, courage, and urgency. Without a doubt, we need to answer these questions as leaders. And I listened very carefully to the statements that have been made here, both by the earlier speakers, by the Chair of the Council of Governors, by the Speaker of the Senate, and we all must be honest about ourselves and about what we are doing. And we must agree that the resources that are availed by the people of Kenya through their taxes are meant for delivering transformation in our counties and in our nation. I did sign into law a few weeks ago legislation that will boost the fight against corruption by signing into law the Conflict of Interest Bill, now law. I do expect that agencies charged with making sure that there is accountability at all levels of government take up their role as efficiently, as effectively, with accountability as the law and the Constitution mandates them. The EACC must take up their role. I have made it absolutely clear to the Chair of the Anti-Corruption Commission, to the CEO of the Anti-Corruption Commission, that there will be no sacred cows and there will be no telephone call from anywhere below or above to stop anybody from being prosecuted for matters corruption. While I agree with the sentiments expressed by the Speaker of the Senate, and he has made a solid statement on holding governors and county governments to account, I also must say the legislature must also be held to account. Because there is something going on in our legislature that we must call out. There is money being demanded from the executive, from governors, from ministers, from people in the executive, especially those who go for accountability before our houses of parliament. Mr. Speaker, it cannot continue to be business as usual. It is not possible that committees of parliament demand to be bribed, demand to be paid for them to write reports or to look the other way for what is happening in either the national government or the county government. All of us must act together. The fight against corruption must be an all of society engagement and exercise and effort. I also want to ask the judiciary not to be a haven for the corrupt to hide behind judicial decisions. We have innovation that is only available in Kenya that allows a corrupt person or somebody who has stolen public resources or somebody in breach of law not to be prosecuted. Something called anticipatory bail. It is a Kenyan innovation that takes us backwards. Just let's ask ourselves, somebody who has stolen public funds and then goes to court and gets something called anticipatory bail, makes it impossible for such a person to be arrested and prosecuted endlessly. How does that support the fight against corruption? This is a matter I hope our friends in the judiciary would help us answer. Because we are undertaking transformation in Kenya, but that transformation is being undermined by corruption, and we must call it what it is. And all agencies, institutions, and arms of government, we must come together to deal with the challenge of corruption so that we can ensure that public resources are meant and are used for the intended purposes for which the people of Kenya have asked us. Without a doubt, ladies and gentlemen, technology can help in eliminating waste and enhancing efficiency. Since its inception in 2013, the e-Citizen platform has stood at the heart of Kenya's digital transformation. What began with a handful of services, about 300 then, has evolved into a 24/7 one-stop shop for over 22,000 government services, accessible from every part of Kenya and everywhere in the world. Today, more than 14 million Kenyans are registered on the e-Citizen platform, with 500,000 Kenyans logging in daily to access passports, driving licenses, business registration, land transactions, marriage certificates, police clearances, and much more. All without queues, intermediaries, brokers, or unnecessary bureaucracy. The results speak for themselves. Collections have surged more than 1,500%, from Kenya shillings 60 million to over 1 billion shillings collected by e-Citizen daily, translating to more than 500 billion annually. Ministries, departments, and agencies have seen revenue growth of up to 400%, supported by accurate projections and better planning. Equally, counties have integrated their digital portals with e-Citizen and have seen remarkable growth. Mombasa County, for example, revenues have rose from 1.6 billion to Kenya shillings 2.5 billion, a 61% growth. Kiambu County has seen revenue grow from 2 billion to 3.04 billion, a 52% growth. And Kajiado from 1.4 billion to 2 billion, a growth of 48%. Other counties, such as Bomet, Tharaka Nithi, Meru, Embu, have posted similar improvements. The platform has seen and has been an engine of economic opportunity, creating 600,000 jobs in ICT, support services, logistics, and other sectors, providing that digitization and proving that digitization is not just about convenience, but also about livelihoods. Most importantly, e-citizen has been a powerful weapon against corruption. By eliminating cash handling and embedding full digital audit trails, we have reduced opportunities for bribery and made transactions traceable, fair, and secure. Citizens can now follow the process and the progress of their applications and payments online, confident that the process is impartial and transparent. I therefore urge all counties to collaborate, share best practices, and celebrate while accelerating the adoption of technology to boost efficiency, cut waste, and enhance revenue performance. Beyond technology, we must promote inter-county collaboration, share resources and expertise, and ensure accountability through transparency and rigorous oversight. Kenya's real economic strength lies at the grassroots in our counties. Through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we are moving from raw material production to value addition, strengthening agro-processing, manufacturing linkages, and market access for SMEs and smallholder farmers. As we gather here in Homa Bay, I challenge every leader and citizen to renew our commitment to the spirit of devolution, invest in people-first policies and programs, ensure every shilling has impact, and bring government services closer to the people. Let me share two other things that I really wanted to say on this day, this very important day of devolution. I must congratulate county governments. I must congratulate our governors and the county assemblies for the partnership they have demonstrated in working with me in the transformation of our country. We have worked together. The Constitution dictates that we do. We have worked together on matters of health, from community health promoters, the people who engage with families, with homes every day, the greatest patriots that I know of. We have worked together with the counties, and I want to congratulate counties for sharing this resource so that we can bring health to be a reality and to be a right for all citizens, not a privilege for those who can afford. I am also happy that we have made tremendous progress in the delivery of our universal health coverage, working with counties. All the counties have signed into the program that will enable citizens access health at every facility in a way that doesn't exclude others. And as a result, we all know that more Kenyans are now in the bracket of SHA. 25.2 million Kenyans are already registered, many accessing service. Charges citizens for a service already paid for by the government of Kenya. Let me state here that we have made provisions in the budget of 21 billion Kenya shillings to make sure that treatment, medicine at level 2, at our dispensaries, at our health centers, at our sub-county hospitals, all the way to level 4, outpatient facilities, outpatient treatment is paid for fully by the government of Kenya. And no facility, no dispensary, no health center or sub-county hospital should charge citizens who go to seek treatment because the government of Kenya will refund for the treatment, for the medicine given to citizens at that level. I am saying this because there are counties that are still charging citizens in health centers and dispensaries and level 4 for treatment when that treatment is already paid for by the government of Kenya. We should stop it. And I want to ask you, colleagues, to help the citizens of our nation, because, as I have said, we do not want to make health a privilege. We want to make it a right for all citizens. Let me also say that today is a great day because our friends, the members of county assemblies, can breathe some fresh air, that they do not have to work under the direction of the county executives. But I have also told you that use that independence for the good of the people. I know there is yet another outstanding commitment that we agreed upon. And because I am a solid believer in savings and encouraging the culture of savings, the county assembly's pensions bill has already been passed by the Senate. It has gone through the first reading in the National Assembly. And I am confident that in the next couple of months, I will be signing into law the County Assembly's pensions bill into law so that county assemblies like the National Assembly will also have pension, just like members of parliament. This pension, we agreed, is going to be contributory, just the same way the one in parliament is contributory, and it will assist us in making sure that we avoid old age poverty by people who have served in the public service. Today, again in Homa Bay, I announced another milestone that through our housing levy and housing fund, we have rolled out affordable housing. We have rolled out construction of markets across Kenya. Today, we broke ground for the first ever hostel for student accommodation in Kenya. And here in Tom Mboya University, we will be building a hostel accommodation facility to host over 2,000 students, and we are rolling it across Kenya. We already have identified universities, Kenya medical training colleges, and TVET institutions to build student accommodation that will accommodate 170,000 students across Kenya as phase one, as we expand the program of housing in Kenya, not only to provide for social housing, affordable housing, student accommodation, our markets, and all the other infrastructure that we are building under that framework. Again, I want to celebrate that the same way we started the affordable housing here in Homa Bay, by coincidence again, we are starting student accommodation construction again here in Homa Bay. Again, here in Homa Bay, I have signed legislation for the first time in Homa Bay County into law and we are slowly but surely making history in the Republic of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to conclude by congratulating Madam Gladys Wanga, Governor of Homa Bay County, for her exemplary leadership and hosting this conference. I also want to commend her for taking decisive action against the people who are running Rachuonyo facility, who we identified as one of the ones that were stealing our money. Thank you very much, Governor, for taking action swiftly. And I want to promise you that as you dismiss those people, we will look for them so that we can prosecute them, so that they can, we can hold them to account. And we are going to do it for all the other facilities that will try to steal from our resources meant for health. And finally, to this great school of Homa Bay, who have given us their grounds so that we can host this facility, I want to say thank you very much to this school. And as a small token of appreciation, the government of Kenya is going to provide 10 million shillings for the construction of the library, as I was informed by the governor. Thank you very much, Mwalimu, for allowing us to use these great grounds for this momentous event. For the people, for prosperity is not just a slogan. It is a call to action, to fairness, opportunity, and progress in every part of Kenya. Let history record that this generation, these leaders, made devolution work, not just in law, but in the daily lives of the people of Kenya. I wish you fruitful deliberations and concrete outcomes at this 2025 Devolution Conference here in Homa Bay. Asanteni sana, and God bless you.
Let us take our seats briefly, please. Kindly, we can just take our seats. We still have the launch of the Devolution Training Institute induction manual. And allow me, Your Excellency, to invite the COG Chair, the host governor, the Vice Chair COG, the Speaker of the Senate, PS Devolution, COG Whip, CEO COG, and Ambassador Sebastian Groth to flank His Excellency as we now progress to the launch of the Devolution Training Institute induction manual. So the launch will be with the press of this buzzer. So Your Excellency, you may come, and then I'll request that you join His Excellency. The launch is right there. That's where the book is, the manual. So kindly, if we... Microphone, please.
I'm sorry, I forgot the Speaker of Senate did ask me about consideration of the Senate team. And I want to confirm that the Senate team did a wonderful performance. Congratulations. A round of applause for the Senate team for winning yesterday's match. Congratulations. And you merit, as the Speaker has said, you merit a reward for what you have done. There is only a small technical problem. Rewards at the level of what we have done for Harambee Stars is only given when the opposite team is not Kenyan. So, unfortunately for the Senate, the team on the other side also came from Kenya. So I really apologize that I may not be able to assist in this particular circumstance. But the next time you play against a foreign team and you perform well as you have done, then there will be due consideration. Thank you very much.
At the count of 3, we'll have the launch of the manual. And Your Excellency, it is right there where we're going to be having the launch. So in 3, 2, and 1, the buzzer is pressed. And we now have the manual, which is the Council of Governors Devolution Training Institute Induction Manual, which is rotating right there. And then we'll have a presentation of the manual by His Excellency to those who have flanked him, so that you will see exactly what the manual entails. A round of applause for the COG for coming up with that manual, and each will receive a copy. And for optics, if we can then if we can all just hold a copy once it's done for a photo opportunity. If we can all just hold a copy, one for His Excellency. May I request that we go to the center? Kindly, thank you. If we can have all right, thank you. I'll request that we leave His Excellency the President and Her Excellency the Governor. The rest, if we can take our seats, please. His Excellency.